I think it's intensely interesting. If you know anything about the life of Paul and how he lived his life, how he put himself in jeopardy time and time again to preach the gospel, you kind of want to think, what motivates a guy like that? What is his motivation? And you know, he tells us. In 2 Corinthians 5, verse 11, he basically tells us what motivated him to live the life that he lived. Now I want to give you a test, because I want to see if you know the answer. I'm going to give you 3 choices, and you tell me the correct answer. He says in verse 11, knowing the blank of God, we try to persuade men. And so there's one word there, knowing the blank of God. So let me put it in for you. You can guess. Knowing the love of God, we try to persuade men. Knowing the mercy of God, we try to persuade men. Knowing the forgiveness of God, we try to persuade men. What do you think? A, B, or C? Whatever you picked, you're wrong. It's none of the above. It's D. Listen to what he said. Knowing the terror of God, we try to persuade men. What was Paul's overriding motivation? Is that he knew the terror that was to come. He knew the judgment that was to come. He knew the penalty of not being right with God. And that is why he talked about in 2 Corinthians 5:10, but we must all appear before the judgment seat. Before the judgment seat of God, and give an account of the deeds done in the body, whether they be good or whether they be evil. And so you see over and over and over, the judgment of God is coming. And we look at Revelation 6 and we think the 4th seal is all about the end times, and yes it is, but the 4th seal has been broken over and over and over and over again. And it was broken on the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, and it was broken on all sorts of ancient civilizations, and we are witnessing possibly the judgment that is going to be passed, to where the seal of death and hell is going to be passed on America.